Hey everybody, it's Bell. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is super long overdue. I'm going to be showing you how I treat my bases with dynamic wax. Actually, not the Ghost formula, but what I've been using for years, prototype of the new permanent formula. This is the old prototype formula, and now we've got a brand new permanent treatment for sale, and I'm really excited to show you how that works. So first we're going to head up to the gondola, take a few laps on the old base, then we'll take it apart, hand it off to the ski shop for tuning, and then I'll show you how to tune a brand new base with dynamic wax. Well, this is shaping up to be a fantastic first run. We got here for first chair. I didn't quite make it, but I saw first chair going up, and there's literally only like 15 skiers here right now. And because I'm staggered, I'm like 6 chairs behind that first group. I'm gonna get this run completely to myself. I'm so stoked. If you didn't know, yes, I'm a bar user. It's something I want to make a video about. Me and a few friends last year at Keystone, we witnessed a guy fall off the chairlift. He spent 6 months in a coma until he finally passed away. So just something for you to think about. I hope you never have to see something like that, but I will be an adamant bar user for the rest of my life. I put it down for other people, and like I highly suggest that you do too. Get this leash fixed there. There we go. Oh my god. It's like I'm the only skier on the hill. Crispy. Oh, so satisfying. Oh my god. Now we're back at the car, ready to take apart the snow skate. So I've already taken the leash off of there. Next step is to remove these axles. Takes a couple crescent wrenches, and then I'll tap out these screws with the end of the wrench. Once you get both sides out, you just kind of wrestle the thing apart. Then we got to finish removing these base plates, and that's about it. All right, so we got the old sub deck dropped off at the ski shop. It's going to be tuned. This one, I just got back from the ski shop, and it's the brand new sub deck, and it's never been waxed. So I'm going to show you how we do the dynamic wax application. Today I'm going to be focusing on the permanent application. So what's cool about dynamic wax is there's no wrong way to use it. We can do overnight like how I'm going to show you. You can do it right before you go skiing. You can even do it right off of the chairlift. That's why we have the pocket spray. But today I'm going to be focusing on the overnight permanent application. So in the box, you're going to get 1 bottle of the permanent solution. You're going to get a bottle of base cleaner. You'll get a microfiber cloth, a couple of alcohol pads, get a pair of gloves, one of these little pocket waxes, and a scraper. So first step, we're going to do our best to clean the base as best as we can. Now my ski's brand new, so it's not as much of a concern, but I did take it in for a base grind, so it did pick up a little bit of wax off of the stone grinder. So I'm going to see if I can do my best to get this off. And this is where solvents come into play, so we're going to put on our gloves. And just use paper towels for this step. We'll save the microfiber for after we do the permanent and buff it out. Hey, bud.
Yo.
Yo, what up? This is just base cleaner. But it'll look the same when I do the wax. My base is really clean, so I'm just going to run over it with a paper towel. But if you have a lot of wax in your base, you can wrap the paper towel around the scraper and use that sharp plastic edge to even get in there a little deeper. I'm going to use both sides of the paper towel. So we're going to take a 15-20 minute break, let this base cleaner completely dry out of the base before we move on to the next step. Alrighty, it's looking pretty dry. I'd like to wait, let it dry out, and then go in for the next step, which is the alcohol pad, because you'll see the base cleaner, as it evaporates, it kind of lifts some more wax and dirt out of the base, so we can get it even more clean. So same deal with these, you're just going from tip to tail. Wide shot. iPhone ran out of storage, so we're filming with the GoPro now. All right, so the next step, the important step, we're going to apply our dynamic wax permanent solution. It comes with a little sprayer, but for this first application, I just soak it into the paper towel and then dab it on by hand. So what we're going for here is we're going to completely wet the base until there is just a little bit of liquid standing on the surface like a puddle. This is going to be the first of probably 3 applications. So I like to do the first one the night before, let it really dry off overnight. In the morning, I'll put the sprayer in. I'll spray a light coat when I wake up, and then I'll spray another coat right before I go riding. And we're buffing in between each coat with the microfiber. You can start to see now how it's starting to soak in here, and it's revealing little dry patches of base. So on this first application, I'm just going to keep going until it's not soaking in anymore, until there's like liquid sitting on the surface that is not soaking into the base. You would be amazed at how much a high quality sintered base can absorb. Especially this being the race base from Donek, it's going to take a lot of dynamic wax, which is going to make it glide really fast. And that's it for today. I'm gonna set the camera up so you get a little time lapse of it drying, but we'll hit it again in the morning first thing, and then right before we go riding, and then we'll see, give you my first impressions. All right, it's the next morning. So we've had overnight for our dynamic wax to soak into the base and dry off. And at this point, we'll inspect the base. Since my base was brand new, it seemed to soak it all up and there's really nothing left on the surface. So I'm just gonna give it a quick buff. Now I'm gonna go for round 2 of the permanent treatment. And this time I will be using the spray head. That's it for step 2. Just gonna let this soak in and go make our breakfast and stuff. And then when we come back out to go riding, we'll spray it one last time. So we actually never ended up doing that third coat of permanent treatment. Here's the time lapse I set up, and as you can see, nothing's happening. This is after 20 minutes. It's starting to soak into the base in a couple spots, but for the most part, it's staying on the surface in little puddles. And that's telling me that it's pretty much soaked in as much as it's gonna soak in. So I'm gonna wipe the rest into the base and wipe it off with a paper towel and let it dry completely. Here's the new snow skate all set up. Super excited about this. It's gonna have to be a separate video. But here you can see the details of the base finish. As this first treatment of dynamic wax dries, it's gonna look like your base is very dry, like it needs to be waxed badly. Don't be deterred, this is just part of the process. I don't fully understand what's happening, but I suspect that this is extra nanoparticles that come up and sit on the surface and need to be polished away. So I do my best here to buff it with a microfiber cloth, but really what's going to polish that off and make it look like a normal base is riding it on the snow. And here we are back on the chairlift and we get to ride it for the first time. All right, got it out here on the hill. I did take the first run without a camera just because I wanted to have hands free, but it's already gliding perfect. The base is gonna look a little bit dry when you first start riding it, and a lot of people will be tempted to apply more dynamic wax at this stage. It's absorbed as much as it's gonna absorb, and it's time to start riding it so that the friction of the snow can polish this surface. So right now it's gliding just about as good as normal wax. As we continue riding and polishing this surface, it will eventually get to a point where it's like superior to wax glide, and then it'll stay there, in my experience, for like 30 to 45 days of riding before you need to apply more. And then after we start to notice it slowing down a little bit, then we'll go in with the pocket wax and do a little pocket wax application on the morning of, that sort of thing. But without further ado, I am so excited. This thing rides like a dream. Well, you know I couldn't end the video without showing you some actual riding on the freshly treated base. So here it is. This is the second run ever on this base. Never been waxed with traditional wax, so only dynamic wax permanent solution, and it's gliding pretty much perfect. This is an extremely flat run. This is the beginner learning area at Breckenridge. It's called Trigvy's Platter. So if you can keep your speed up and carve here, you can pretty much keep your speed up anywhere.
All right, well, I hope you got something out of this. Thanks so much for watching. Obviously, this video was sponsored by Dynamic Wax. So if you're interested in picking up a bottle, hit that link in my description. We've got the permanent formula. It's kind of in a trial phase right now, but you can buy this ghost formula. This stuff works pretty much just the same. It's just less concentrated. As always, if you want to support me, I've got a link in the description where you can tip me in the form of a symbolic coffee on the tipping platform Ko-fi.com. I've also got a little DIY guide for how to build a DIY snow skate on there. If you want to get something for your tip, it's a little outdated, but something cool for you to look at there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.